This is me. This is the washing line. It's special to me because I swung on it a lot as a child, and I hung out a lot of washing at it as a child. I've been told that my swinging and pull-upping and various acrobatics broke the washing line. Part of I guess, the classic Australian house. My special place. Yeah. It's changed. So have I. That's life. I come from Singleton, but I have not much more involvement with it than my address. I've dipped in, sure, but dried out quickly enough.
My nan once told me there used to be wild horses living on that island. I remember the adults talking about the fig tree. It felt like a local legend. It excited me, and we were going to get to see it. I don't really remember arriving, particularly. Rather, what stuck was the shape of the fig tree, the presence of the place, and the giant twisting jungle camouflaged against the great chunks of rock. Figs have just fallen now. Red, yellow. The place felt sacred. Not like something I'd ever seen before. I love getting caught in a storm, the crack of thunder, and running home in the rain. I used to lie awake at night. I imagined a hot earth. We couldn't breathe. Everything around us died. And we died too. I wonder, is it a warning?
It's been a day of mayhem across the Hunter, a powerful earthquake causing widespread damage, blackouts, even forcing schools to evacuate.
The magnitude 5 quake struck near Denman, northwest of Newcastle, around lunchtime. The tremors so strong they were felt as far south as Western Sydney.
Didn't really feel it, but we heard it. the cabinet next to me was just shaking, like there was somebody jumping up and down in front of it, or thought maybe either a dog scratching, and I looked at both my dogs and they were sound asleep.
The cabinet started shaking. We were sitting near the computer, and then I looked at Mum and said, "Is that you shaking?"
We thought, I think that was another earthquake.
Fell asleep on the couch, and that's when the earthquake hit, so I didn't feel it.
We didn't feel the earthquake last week, no. But I met people who did, and apparently their house shook. Love you lots. Talk to you later.
We're going to go and meet some of the community out in the Upper Hunter. And think I've actually been that way before.
This one friend, her name was Daisy, and she lived quite close to the mines. This, of course, impacted our friendship just due to the fact that with her living so close to the mines, she was booted out of her house and she moved elsewhere, very far away, and we ended up losing contact. My own little community as a teen was being split apart.
He was very present in my life, even if I didn't realise it. You know, every event we'd go to in Singleton was like sponsored by one of the coal people. We got given a beach towel that was bright green and it had like Bulgur coal written on it, and there was a matching red lunchbox that became my brother's lunchbox, and they did like, I know one of the big attractions, you know, there were like jumping castles and like markets and stuff. One of the big attractions was a bus ride to go see the mine.
Driving through Bulgur to Singleton and seeing the hills of just gravel, dust and rocks, and how quite obvious they are, and seeing them stick out like that, and the dust along the horizon, that orange to blue sky is quite prominent.
Properties on the river have all been sterilised now. They're not used for any agricultural purposes, other than to grow trees as an offset for more mining. Are not koala friendly, and they're not millable timber, so they're just fast growing trees that suit the requirements of their consent.
I've seen mines move complete roadways just to get to that coal. Scrub Road, yeah, bought him and Tongs to try to keep hold of that. Mines bought it. Convict Trail, built by Aboriginals and convicts. They don't care.
Whoa.
Massive big Aboriginal site out there. Put about 60,000 tonne of overburden on top of it. You'll never ever see it again. What about if we get a couple of big dump trucks and we'll go and dump a pile of dirt in your front yard? Would you go off the dial over it? Probably would. I said, well, he's doing the same thing to us.
driving past where there's like the really big transmission lines just after you come through Mount Thorley that go parallel to the road for a bit. I was saying, they're big robots because they sort of hang like robots and are very metallic. Because I haven't really been directly connected to mining, but a lot of things I see are 1 or 2 steps removed, but are still caused or supported by the actual process of mining.
Mia and I walked down the road after we passed a gate.
I saw all the signs saying surveillance, 24 hours, no drones allowed. We hadn't been walking back for that long when a white car drove past.
Came out of nowhere, and despite being a very straight, long road, and beeped at us.
Like twice, and it wasn't a friendly honk.
Then 20 seconds later, eerie buzz from above, and all of a sudden there's this black drone.
A couple metres above our heads.
Passing right over us.
And it definitely came from the direction of the mine.
Oh, hi there. It's Samuel calling. How are you? Hey, look, I was wondering if I could interview you and ask you about whether you've got any mining stories from the past and how it's sort of been to live in Singleton, the Hunter Valley.
What it used to be was lush grazing land. Do you know what Wanneroo stands for? Hills and plains. How can you have plains when there's no plains? They're all hills.
And holes.
And voids.
Hundred and wherever years ago, people built their little homes as close to the pit as they could get because they could walk to work. And they clustered around like Abermain and a lot of those little towns where now all that old mining system's gone now, and those little townships are gone back to pristine conditions. A total opposite to what's happened here, because it'll never go back.
There's definitely like sentimental attachment to the place because of the mine. It's just kind of everywhere. Like Singleton is so mining.
From my younger days, I remember anytime there was a mine blast, this whole house would shake, and it was very frightening at first when you didn't know what it was, and taking care of our environment when does it cross the line.
If the human eyesight was like an eagle, was far superior to what it is, and could identify fine particulates, what would you see? all you would see would be a haze.
The more and more I'm involved with these type of things, the more and more I personally feel like a commodity. They utilise culture and market it in a way so they don't look like what they're doing to the land. We all share Australia, but the big picture for them and the big picture for us are two different things. All they care about is their KPIs next year and what they need to do to make sure that they keep going up and up and up and up and up. We care about where we live because once the mine goes, we don't get to go. Like, this is our home.
Long time ago, in the dream time of the Wanneroo people, they believed in a great spirit, and the great spirit was called Biami. But Biami was asleep for many, many years until one day the great spirit awoke. When he awoke to darkness. He couldn't see nothing. So Biami made the sun. When he made the sun, he could see, but all he could see was bare, desolate ground. So Biami moved across the land, shaping it and forming it, putting mountains, hills, rivers and streams and animals all in the right places. Biami was very pleased with himself, but had no one to show. So Biami, the Great Spirit, made man, woman and child. They said, "Thank you, Biami, for what you've created for us." Biami continued on, moving across the land, shaping it, forming it. He made his way to Mount Yango. Yango is a very large mountain in the Yango National Park. They say Biami stepped onto it and into the sky. When he was in the sky, he made the stars, the moon and the Milky Way. But in the Milky Way, he put Mother Emu in it. I feel great coming here and bringing people out here like yourselves to show them and tell them about the culture. How I say to them, did you just learn anything? They go, yeah. I said, well, I've done my part.
Maybe there's opportunity for new stories to be told, a way of reconnecting to country that's been changed drastically, but which is still country.
Gradually, I realised, or kind of sunk in, the astronomical extent to which we've completely changed the landscape.
Driving out through the boom gate, past sort of a couple of hillocks, and then go into this big dirt road.
And the road was just a big expanse of grey.
It's like a highway.
A dystopian landscape.
I think I'm normally a pretty good person with directions and have a reasonably okay internal compass.
But I was completely lost in the landscape.
The world changed to an unnatural kind of grey.
It was so controlled and engineered. Dust. Rock with piles of
dust,
creating barriers on either side.
Just spray grey rock with the black stream of coal showing as we came up to the void, to the painted shelf.
No trees, nothing, no birds, no life.
Besides the trucks that were moving, indicating there were people inside them.
It's dead.
Death. Annihilation.
Annihilated.
Dystopian. No life. No living. Dusty. Grey.
Surreal. Those mountains that were there beforehand were created over many, 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 many years, and then within a couple of years we just completely removed them. We are recreating the ecosystems, but fundamentally they are different to what they were before. Concurrently, simultaneously. Mine's a livelihood. Mine's a destruction. Mine's decimate landscapes. Mine's recreate them. Mine's create communities. Mine's rattle homes. The people have shown that there is hope. I just hope it's enough.
So, without having any baseline of any other mind,
opportunity, employment, and education. Like together, I think that could be something cool for the landscape. Also,
we're seeing faunal voids being used to generate electricity, and I think that would be pretty poetic.
Get rid of the voids, put the land back to how it was, even running cattle across it. The horses or cattle. Let's get something back out of it.
And also use it to regenerate the site and replant native plants, create habitat for the animals. You could turn it into a wetland or plant lots more trees so that the native wildlife have somewhere to live, somewhere dedicated for them.
Invest in some museum or space to actually show these to the community and people that are passing through. Spaces to bring community members in to then talk about some of the artifacts, even have some of the artifacts that are abundant used for hands-on show and tell. Have that culture still connected. It's still on the land of the Wanneroo people.
having opportunity, employment and education for somewhere like Singleton to be a place where young people can continue to live and thrive. Ideally, I think I want it to be a place where people from all different walks of life and of all ages in particular feel like they have a place.
It's sort of like talking about old growth trees, right? You like looking at an old growth tree. It's been through things. Like a tree's been around for longer than we can comprehend. And it doesn't look like a perfect straight tree, but it's got all these marks on it, and branches that have then turned into hollows, which have turned into homes, been through storms and fires and floods, sort of adapted to where it's living. A void will have a perspective over the 300, 400, 500,000 years that it exists. It'll just be there, watching.
I've seen mines move complete roadways just to get to that coal.
The people have shown that there is hope. I just hope it's enough.
Maybe there's opportunity for new stories to be told.